Yeah, it was fun. I just went up, watched the Red Claws, watched Jeremiah play, and it's really a neat atmosphere up there. You can see that community kind of supports their teams. They do the same thing with the Red Sox farm team, and it's really a good venue. So it was good.
Do you find yourself scouting your son when you're watching him, or is it just you're watching him?
No, I just kind of watch. I should be now because he's on that level. You look at him in a different way a little bit, but overall, you just kind of sit and watch the game.
On Avery's vocalness, is it? I mean, do you guys want, in terms of being a vocal leader, you guys want to be more? Is his play kind of speaking?
Yeah, I think his play speaks for it. I mean, he has to call plays out and stuff like that. I think he's verbal defensively in what we do. But that's not anything I'm looking for right now for him. I just want him to keep playing hard. He plays so hard. He probably can't speak half the time. He's exhausted. So I just like what he's doing.
How close is he back to 100% from where he was last year?
Oh, I think he's 100%. Leg-wise, he's been 100%. I guess if there's any good thing about having a shoulder or anything, is that you can still use your legs conditioning-wise. You can do all the running. As far as his shoulders, I can't answer that. I don't know. I would say he will not be 100% until next year. With that, I just think any surgery, especially if you have two.
Right.
One of the officials in the last game actually walked to me and said, "Hey, you had both shoulders done?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I had one, and I was out 6 months, and I still feel bad." I said, "Well, that's why you're an official." I didn't call 3 bad calls after that, but I was just joking.
That's not when you were asking him about golf, I assume.
No, exactly.
How unique is Avery in a two-guard that relentless on defense?
Well, he's unique. It sets him apart in a lot of ways. There's not a lot of guys who want to do it. There probably are a lot of guys who can do it, but there's very few who want to, and that's the key part. Avery enjoys it. He enjoys the defensive assignments. He looks at that other best player at 1, 2, or even 3 at times, and he's looking forward to matchups. That's a guy who understands who he is, and that's a good sign.
Doc, this is an important stretch for the newer guys, specifically Terrence and Jordan, how they're going to fit in, how they know some plays, and what you can expect from them.
I don't know, Steve. Honestly, I think every stretch is important to us, and I don't know. It would be the answer. I think again, we want them to play, but we'd like the other guys to play, and one of those two will play every night, probably early on at least. And we'll see how that goes. But it does help that they've had a couple of practices. I think that helps them. And they kind of see our culture more. I don't even think they had a chance to see that, except for just jumping into games. See us work through practices and our walkthroughs even. So I think all that probably helps all 4 of the guys in a big way.
Coach Chad, that many at this point in the season, it's a lot even for you guys. Usually you had 1 or 2 to add 4, and that many. How big of a challenge is that for them and for you guys?
Well, it's a challenge because they're not veterans. If they were veteran players, I think it'd be a challenge, but not as much. They're trying to find their own way. Forget finding the Celtics way. So it is a challenge, and if we were successful with 1 or 2 of them figuring it out, I'd be very happy.
How many separate practices are you having with the guys, the new guys being brought off?
Well, they have every day. They don't
Really?
have a day off. Yeah, they have every day. They have to play catch-up, and I don't think they'll ever get the rhythm of everything all by the end of the year. It's just not going to happen. You don't not play for, 3/4 of the season and then figure out they're going to get it. That's not going to happen. But what we're trying to do is put them in the place not to hurt us, and that's what we're doing.
You were planning at the beginning of the season. Did you forecast that you might have to rest Kevin